Good evening, good evening, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats, chicken, dogs, snakes, frogs, and all of y'all, from wherever you at, from wherever you be, and whoever you be with. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nightcap Knowledge. My name is DJ George Chuck. We've got Mr. Mac. We've got Tanya Boyd Cannon. We've got an all-star cast of panelists, of guests, the Knights of the Mental Health Roundtable are with us tonight. We are operating with a conscious mind. We're talking about mental health awareness, and we need you to share this live right now. Check in with us. We can see some of our folks getting it in over there on YouTube. We appreciate you. We see our folks checking in on Twitch. And we also need to get some of our folks from Facebook. I can see that they were not selected, so we're going to have to work on that. But in the meantime, in between time, Jackson has walked in the building because he is still up. It's Christmas break. Shout out to all the families out there with the kids at home. I absolutely hope y'all are having an outstanding evening. Mac, if you could, make sure folks push on over to YouTube. We might not be able to get on Facebook tonight. All right, looks like we got Facebook back up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nightcap Knowledge. My name is DJ George Chuck, and it's time to get this thing started. Hey. Gotta hold up for Tanya. Where you at, Mac? Go hit the harmonica, Mac. Hit the harmonica. What's up, man? What's up? Shout out to all the nightcappers out there. Shout out to everybody coming in, checking in over on the Black with No Chaser page. Shout out to all our folks at Black with No Chaser, man. Let's get it in.
No Chaser.
Yeah, man. Yes, man.
Nightcap Knowledge, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Central.
Yeah, man. Y'all check us out every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central. If you are not subscribed to the Nightcap Knowledge YouTube, please go on over there and do that. Hit a like button, hit a love button, leave a comment. If you're here, we appreciate each and every interaction that you allow us to have with you because you don't owe it to us. And we appreciate any moment in time that we are able to speak and spend with you. So Thank you for that. And we in the season of gratitude, ain't that right, Mac?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Every day above ground is a day to be thankful, my brother.
Man,
You,
boy, come
you
on.
gotta pat your mouth like them Baptist preachers. Why you always do that joke?
Oh, look, when they start patting, like, what you looking for? What you looking for?
And the Lord gave me a message. He like the message is written. He like he
Where's
put it.
written at?
I think I left it in my other suit. It's my other
Look,
suit.
in your other suit, man. But
Hey,
they have
hey,
them on the road.
as we give a couple pastors a hard time, big shout out to a couple of our favorite pastors out there, unapologetic favorite pastors. Got to be brother AC Carter. That
Most
brother is
shout out to
going
my
to
LP.
preach the word and he's going to walk the word.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
going to show up and ask what can he do with his hands,
That's a show
and
enough
he's
photo dog
not
right
afraid to open his wallet.
there. That show enough photo dog right there, man. He gonna walk with it.
He gonna walk. Hey, I'm just telling you, and he gonna walk. And that's something that me and Chuck got. My Ford is not a pastor, but both of them jokers kind of they're a little darker brown than us, and them jokers still, and both of them strong as two mules, I would say.
Hello.
And we have seen them in action in separate situations. We just say all you want to do. All I
Right.
would say is don't put your hands on the foes.
Yeah, leave that brother alone right there. Don't you do that.
Leave them alone. Peace. Be still.
And yeah, or you will be in pieces.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, big shout out to our sister TBC. She is always making big moves and working on some things out there. So we holding it down, man, as we wind down the year. And as we talk about the podcast, Nightcap Knowledge, reminding everybody this show is rated Black and Uncensored. It is real talk, real issues, real solutions. This show was created to continue to spread the word and knowledge about things that we were doing, advocating in the community, speaking truthfully, and without curving it. Right? We don't want people to misconstrue our goal to be respectful with being apologetic. You know, and we always going to tell it just like a TIE is, whether your ears is ready to hear it or not. Hey, maybe this is not the show for you.
Boy. It might not be the show for you.
It
If
might
you don't,
not be the show for you because we're going to talk about things that are transparent and that need to be talked about. We cannot heal the way we need to in our community. And one of our mottos for Mississippi Move is together we can heal our community because we don't talk about all the things we need to talk about to be able
yeah,
to help our folks. And tonight's topic is one of the main things that we need to talk about, which is mental health in the Black community, trauma, different things in the Black community. And my mental health minute connects those two things. Part of the first part of our conversation, where we're talking about the Baptist preacher patting the mouth, and the second
yeah.
part is talking about those who work in healthcare and mental health care.
Mm-hmm.
And that is again one of my old goodies is you know which is basically saying faith without work is dead. And we also tell people to have faith in your deity, you have faith in yourself, but put the work behind it. You must make whatever you believe to come true and not just sit and wait. So, you're a lot of people say that my my belief, my faith is in my work, my worship is in my work. So you continue to work towards whatever the goal may be that you are praying. And also you're praying and asking for strength to be
Yeah,
able to complete whatever task may be. Maybe not just for the task to miraculous to happen. So we're asking people those things we see out there right now, as Chuck and I have been pushing for the last couple of days. We know that we have freezing temperatures coming to Mississippi across the South. Other
it's coming
states
to
are
you.
better prepared. Yeah, and other states are better prepared than we are, right? And we know for a fact that we're going to be affected. So as we pray and have faith that we're going to come out on the other end of this thing, and on the other side of Christmas, we're gonna be okay. We have to put the work in to say, what do I need to do to make sure my house is taken care of? What do I need
Right.
to make sure that I have everything that I need? Do I have my medication? That if I take medication, have I checked on folks? So it's a whole lot to go into that when we start talking about having faith without work is dead, because you got to be able to meet it and match it with the same amount of energy to make sure. Because I also said, if you take one step, so you got to make sure you take your step
Come on,
by
come on.
putting that work in and doing what you need to do, right?
Right.
And nobody has ever told you it's going to be easy. Never said it's going to be easy, right? So let's get that together.
Me.
Never said it was going to be. Never going to say it's going to be easy. So that is my mental health minute. Oh, and we did not talk about what we're going to. It's getting towards the end, Chuck. What shall we? This is nightcap knowledge, so we got to get our nightcap out here. So
gotta get a nightcap. Gotta get a nightcap. Let me go back to that smaller screen. I don't know if I like the blurred background, Mac. What you think? You see the blurred background?
Yeah, I see it.
I don't know if I like the blurred background. I don't know.
Go back to the original. All right,
I go back to the original. But Mac, what you drinking on over there? What you got?
I don't know, man. I have 2 cognacs here. I have a couple scotches.
Yes.
I have some whiskey. I have a bourbon back there. What do you think I should pour?
Well, I'm drinking one of my blended whiskey. So we're gonna keep it. Your Jack Daniels honey. I can't go
I got
wrong.
this right here. I got Jack Daniels honey right here.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Jack Daniels. What else I got? Yeah. Let's stay with the blended whiskeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're not encouraging anybody to do anything you don't want to do. But if you're gonna do it with something that you know and you trust. No, like trust.
Big shout out to the legend, Larry Legged Lincoln Obama.
The Larrys.
The Larry.
Man, look, we got old Jesse Horton tuning in from Korea. We've got Ricardo Martin tuning in from Phoenix City. Is that Phoenix City, Alabama? I just drove through there. I'm about to block somebody name, whatever their name is. They about to get blocked. Yep, they got blocked. Real quick.
I can't see it on my end tonight.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. They getting blocked.
Tell us what you got on the music side, Chuck.
Well, look, man, what's the groove with DJ George? Chuck, I'm gonna tell you, I haven't done anything on the music side for the past 5 days other than talk to my brother.
That's the big thing you got to tell us about.
Yeah. That's the groove right there. My brother is now a college graduate, and Kimwana Rogers, she needs the link. So let's see, Mac, I'm going to copy the link right quick and get it to one of our guests that's having some difficulty logging in. But as I'm doing that, I mean, you'll see me jumping around all over the place with my eyes and things. But my brother graduated from Brown University on Friday. So my wife Shallon, me and the boys, we all traveled to Lawrenceville, Georgia, and then made our way up to Gainesville, Georgia. And we were able to witness my brother keep his promise that he made to our mother, God rest her soul, Janie Marie Burrell Patterson. He promised our mama, that he was going to graduate from college. And my brother definitely kept his promise to our mother. And he did it in his own way, in his own time, in God's time. And I am certainly proud of him. He has his Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership. He has I would call it a storied career in management and leadership of organizations. Just to give him his props, he is a person that was able to achieve what I don't know many people can achieve. I mean, there are stories out there, a lot of folks that they go and chase their dreams and they do things and they make a lot of money, they make 6 figures and all of that. He did it without a college degree. And I don't know many people that were able to ascend to the highest heights of corporate America without a college degree. And my brother did it. And at this point, he says that family and keeping promises that you made to family is one of the most important things that you can do. And for that, man, that's the groove. I don't care what anybody else is talking about. I know that without a doubt, if you honor the promises that you make to honor your mother and your father, right? He is honoring my mother, our mother, and our father in with the promise that he made. He walked across that stage, and I was there, and I was crunk, and I screamed, I shouted, I took a whole bunch of pictures, I took a whole bunch of video, and the only thing that I said that he did wrong because he plays alpha.
Hey, but together, y'all, what was the beginning and the end?
It's the beginning and the end, ladies. He started it off. I finished. They say that the first shall be last, and last shall be first. And I was the first one to walk across stage at
See what you
at
did
an HBCU, at an HBCU, and we had conversations with my niece. Who? All right, let me switch gears a little bit. Now, congratulations to my brother. I definitely got to shout him out, Reginald Thomas Patterson. Now, his offspring, on the other hand, boy, my niece Krista made a 7-up pound cake. Mac, I almost called your whole name on this whole radio show, podcast, live cast. Mac, dog, I'm telling you, this 7-up pound cake, you would have thought that your grandmama mama made it.
Oh, she got it. She got it.
Got it.
She got it.
Got it. All of the T's will be pronounced when you are putting some respect on my niece, Krista Mary. With a name like that, Krista,
you got to cook.
You got to cook, man. The 7-up pound cake, that thing was moist. You didn't need no milk, you didn't need no coffee, you didn't need no water. You could eat this. Oh Lord, Lauren is still waiting for the link. All right, let me find Lauren. But I on that note, my niece can cook the greatest pound cake ever known to man by a 15-year-old girl.
Where did she learn this from?
She learned it from her grandmother,
Mary
Blackman. And I'm saying, like, I remember Christmases that I spent with my brother and my sister-in-law and what would that be? Would that be my brother's mother-in-law? I just call her Miss Mary because that's family. But God rest her soul, Miss Mary knew what she was doing. And then look, dog, my sister-in-law, she knows that I love oatmeal raisin cookies. And I like them.
Who does not like oatmeal raisin cookies?
Oh no, man! I done met a lot of people that don't like oatmeal raisin cookies.
Oh, they can't.
I love some oatmeal raisin cookies. One, because you get oatmeal with it, and then typically, if they're a smart person, they're gonna put some walnuts in it. And you know, walnuts have, all the things that you need. So you got oatmeal regularity. You got the walnuts that's gonna give you some of the nutrients and things that you need. And then you got the raisins. You know what raisins gonna do, and then you add a little bit of that sweetness with it, man. You have the perfect combination of a treat as well as a healthy snack. I love it. I don't know about y'all.
That's the stuff you eat when you're not going outside for a while.
And look, and the only thing that we did, we sat around, we sat in the house, talked, we shared stories, we looked at pictures. That's in my groove for the past 5 days, man, and it was an absolute outstanding time. And Lauren, I am getting you the link. I'm going to Facebook to find your name, and we've got 2 of our roundtable members backstage. Yay. And Mac, we're gonna get them in just a moment. So let's go ahead and get our announcements. Let's go through.
Go ahead and get the link through, and I'll go through the announcement. So we got our friend, our brother, Stephen James, as I call him, Super Steve. It has his big New Year's Eve sneaker ball going down. Last year, it was at the Trademark Building. We were bartending and hanging that thing. And he has a star-studded guest list. And, man, people from everywhere come and support Stephen James and Stephen James Foundation. He's always doing some great things in the city, in the state, even in other states. So I call him Super Steve because he be rolling, man. You think you see him with the suit on, but you don't understand. He just put that suit on probably about 30 to 45 minutes before you get there. He's been out there rolling, unloading, and all that good stuff. So he will be, his event is going down New Year's Eve at the Jackson Convention Center. So holler at Super Steve and get you some tickets. He got a great lineup and guests and artists. So go check him out. And he also do another event where he do the party with a purpose, and he do the Pink Friday. So he does some good things, man. You can check him out.
Yeah,
What else
yeah.
we got?
Most definitely. That's Karen Brown. He's got on there. He's got DJ
Yep.
Tech and DJ Finesse as a part of that
DJ
Stephen James
Finesse.
Foundation. DJ Unpredictable 601 Events and Promotions, along with Amazoning with Anitra Incorporated. That's the Sneaker Ball, New Year's Eve at the Jackson Convention Complex. Mac, next up, we got a Christmas party B-Day bash.
So we got a big Christmas party going on this Christmas Eve, and it's going to be right here in the city of Jackson. So you make sure y'all go check this spot out. If you don't know where it is, it's the old city Central City Complex, right off of Woodrow Wilson, close by 5 Point. We have a lot of great guests there. We got our sister again, Miss Helen Brown, Queen Bee. No more. Always talking about helping someone. This sister is always out in the community helping someone, where she's doing it through the sheriff department, where she's doing it through her bike club, whoever. She's always out working, and definitely have a passion to helping those that have been suffering and dealing with sex trafficking. So this is celebrating her birthday. And then we got none other than Mr. Terrell Moses. If you close your eyes, you're going to think Prince is in the room. He does a lot of Prince greatest hits. And he has a couple of songs where he cut the music and he sing a cappella, and you're gonna think Prince is in there. And this brother is really known for putting on the show. And that band up there, that brother you see, sometimes he had on different uniform. That's our guy that's been holding it down with us, Deputy King.
That's Deputy King up there, man.
Yeah, man. But he's also he's a rocker, baby. He plays the guitar. That man multi-talented. So shout out to Deputy King, Big Dan.
Damn, Police playing in the music. Golly, come on,
man. I'm telling you, man, we surround ourselves with folks that shows the power of our ancestors by mastering more than one art, more than one craft.
There you
So
go.
you never know who can do what when they're around you. But it's going down, $20 admission, cash bar. And go ahead and reach out, get your tickets, and you also can pay at the door. And that's this Christmas Eve. So it's gonna be cold. So come prepared.
Yeah, you better bundle up.
Wear your external, because we got your internal. We got some fuel that you can use, baby. We got it. We got what you need. Go keep you warm.
You got that 93 octane, man. You got that
93 octane premium. Might have a little diesel for you, depending on what kind of engine you got. We got something for you. Come on out.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, stick with it. We talking great shit tonight. Let's go.
I have so many questions about a person that has a diesel engine on the inside of there, but I'm gonna keep it moving. And I need you to go through these locations that will be offering resources to folks that might be displaced as a result of the storm.
So Mississippi Move is again our motto. One of them is also moving Mississippi forward, all gas, no brakes. We are on the move. So starting what's happening closer right now. If you've been paying attention, we've been sharing a flyer to tell you what to do as the temperatures drop. Yeah. So we talked to some of the folks with the housing network and also those who are working to eradicate homelessness. And there are the emergency shelters, Matt House and Broomfield House will go over capacity to make sure those who are part of the homeless population have somewhere to stay. Yeah. Also, those who might be affected by the freeze, whether it be you lose power or water, whatever, there's going to be spots set up for those families and those folks with children to be able to come, or couples to be able to come. Because one thing I asked a few years ago, there's nowhere for families to go, right? We've helped several homeless families. There's nowhere for families to go to. So we have helped families and put families up because you can only go to a women's shelter or a men's shelter. So, so they would have the Red Roof Inn on High Street will be a place for folks to go right off of High Street. And then also Champions Community Center will be another place where people can go if they lose power or lose water or anything like that in the midst of the freeze. Also, Mississippi Move, we've been on the ground since Thursday of last week, right after the tornado hit. Anguilla, Mississippi, Sharkey County, if you know where Rolling Fork is, the population of Anguilla is probably about 460, and it was hit hard. A lot of damage done to the town. One of the trailer parks that was there had 8 trailers in it. Only 3 are standing. When I tell you that the other trailers were completely flipped over, like the wheels are upside down, cars destroyed. So, and the people kept coming back, every other day They had nowhere else to go, so they're being put
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
in the local motel because there's no motel there. So we was on the ground. There's an echo somewhere, something.
Yeah. Tanya just chimed in. She's on the phone, man. So just push on through and we'll get Tanya to say hello and bring our guest in after we get done with the
All right.
announcement.
So real quick, what we got? Also, we went up and provided food. So we're going back Thursday for the Christmas parade. And anybody would like to participate and donate, we're going to try to provide donations to get gifts for those teenagers. They have gifts for the smaller children. Also, in partnership with Mississippi Rising Coalition and also Mississippi for a Green New Deal, we
Yeah.
will be providing housing for at least for 1 week for those families that has been displaced. We have over 30 people that have been displaced, that have nowhere to go. Not somebody that has damage to the home gone. Two of
Home
the trailers,
resistant.
yeah,
Yes. Unlivable.
two of the houses had 6 children in it apiece.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 8 to 9 people in one trailer.
Yeah.
So we're going to be up there this Thursday trying to assist as much as possible. For those who want to help out, holler at us. That's what we do.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw this up on the screen right quick. If you're looking to do a little giving, in addition to all the other things that you might be doing personally, Mississippi Moves Cash App is $MS Move, so $MSMOVE, or you can go to the website msmove.org and click on the donate tab. So, we're on the ground. We are in all of these places that may be affected. Typically, we get there before anybody else does because we don't have to operate within the guidelines and the constrictions of a whole lot of bureaucracy. Our board members know what it is to be on the ground and helping people when they need help, not when the news get there. So Mac is big about making sure that we are prepared and ready to go. And just wanted to throw that graphic up. And Mac, before we'll do the cold weather slide, but I wanted to get Tanya in
Yeah, get Tanya in.
and then and
TBC.
there she go. She's back.
What's up, everybody? I was on stage when you all started. We just went into intermission for Christmas Without Tears, an amazing event here at the Orpheum Theater in New Orleans with Judith Owens and Harry Shearer. This event celebrates all who are um, just just want to find a space to celebrate the holidays without tears because
Yeah.
everyone is going through something. And so tonight, that's the reason for we say a conscious mind, just a round table about finding ways to make sure we have resources for help. And tonight is one of those nights. Big Frida just got off stage. I just got off stage. Kermit Ruffin, Brian Batts, so many more are getting ready to hit the stage. And we're in intermission right now, but it all the funds go towards the Innocent Project Fund for those who are in need, the youth who are in need of support in any kind of way, who've been charged with something that they don't supposed to be charged with, but to find a way of supporting them to make them to rule out any type of charges against them and
Yeah.
to give them peace of mind. And so I wanted to jump on because I know tonight is a heavy, heavy topic or topics that will be going on. But I definitely want to encourage everyone for my music entertainment check in is to check in with someone. Make sure you have that one person or that group of people that you can trust to share how you feel, to share what's going on. And it's okay to not be okay. That's why we're here. Chuck and I was talking about what does that look like to have that support.
Yeah.
And like I shared with Chuck last week, I said, that looks like if I know I talk to Chuck every Sunday at 2 o'clock, and for 2 weeks, I haven't talked to him for 2 weeks on a Sunday at 2 o'clock. I should have checked in the first week I didn't hear from him on that Sunday. And it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So when Chuck gets an inundation of phone calls, text messages from me, he shouldn't respond like, "What you want, Tanya?" His response should be, "I'm sorry. I should have reached out to you and said something. I was going through." But we don't know how to say that. So it's making sure we check in on our people at all times, making sure that we have trusting and safe spaces to share how we feel. And
That's
so
it.
tonight, I was able to get on stage and to be my most vulnerable self, and it was a sold out show tonight, just like it was last night in the living room, a vulnerable
Yeah.
spaces. So we just want to make sure that we are creating safe and vulnerable spaces for people to talk. It's no need for your fucking cell phone. Excuse me, I'm gonna say it like that. That's how I feel. Put the cell phones up. Put your eyes on the person behind you and be engaging with what they're saying, so you can
Yeah,
hear twice and speak less, so you know how to help them where they need it most.
that's it. That's it, man. I appreciate that, TBC.
Yeah, yeah. So I love you
Hey,
all. I'm drinking coffee,
uh-oh,
Come on.
uh-oh,
Come on, coffee.
a
Come on,
Blanco coffee
coffee.
with lime.
get out,
Look, but on the
get
real,
out.
I love you all. I love y'all. I'm planning on coming to the coast next week just for a couple of days, just to kind of. So Chuck, we may have to go live with Nightcap Knowledge at your house somewhere or somewhere. So Mac, we may come to Jack's. I don't know, but I love y'all. I fucking love
We love
y'all.
you too. We love you too. And with
This,
that being said, ladies and gentlemen, will start with our introductions. I think we're going to start with the newest lady,
yes.
the newest lady to the show. We know her from Tougaloo College. She's also one of those representers of Pink and Green,
And that's my boo.
and that's your boo.
Yes.
Uh, may we introduce, and let me get my applause button ready. May we introduce the Reverend Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Kenwana McGrigg, ladies and gentlemen. The Reverend Doctor, ladies and gentlemen.
Those need to be somewhere in there. Dope too.
The Reverend Dr. Dope Kenwana McGrigg. There we go.
Hi, boo.
Hey, boo.
I want to give love. I know Fred is coming on as well as Lauren. I love you all. I have to get back upstairs for the rest of the show. But I definitely wanted to see your face. I miss you, Kimwana, because I know we talk via
Yes.
phone. But I miss you. I love you. And that's my safe space. I want y'all to know this sister is my safe space along with my
Internet hating on your safe space.
what you said?
The internet
Uh-oh,
is hating on
Where
your
you
safe space.
it
Yes.
is.
Oh,
The-
y'all, I'm in Italy. We're in what are
Yes. And
Go,
yes.
go back up there.
we, y'all? Okay,
All
I
right.
love y'all. Peace.
Love you. Bye bye. Okay. All right. All right. Now, nope. I ain't hating. I ain't being funny. I ain't picking on the blue people of the show. Just because I got one of my white sorors up here, but we're gonna go in reverse. So we got the newest, then we're gonna get the second newest. We've got Dr. Lauren Terrabar coming to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Lauren, what's up?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Man, we are awesome. We are awesome. We are so glad to have you all on tonight. And then in true Q Dog fashion, I got to bring my dog, Dr. Frederick Smith, to the building.
Dr. Fred,
Dr. Fred,
David.
the longest running mental health professional on Nightcap Knowledge.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Nah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right, let me change this layout just a little bit. And man, look, let's dig in. Mac, I know we've discussed this a number of times on Nightcap Knowledge. And first I'd like to say, thank you to all of our panelists for being here with us. And I'm going to put all of them up here, and then we're gonna put Mac and I on the bottom. I like the way that looks. Y'all look so well.
Got Fred in the middle.
Yeah, you got Fred in the middle, man. So let's do this. Let's go around and let's do like some introductions, and then we'll let our panelists kind of tell who they are, where they are, and then we'll go into some questions because Mac, we've discussed a number of questions, and then we can roll from there.
Yeah, because I definitely want to pick on something that Tanya talked about.
All right. Kimwana, you want to jump in first?
I'll jump right on in. First, I just want to say I am so appreciative for being invited to this space amongst all these amazing melanin people. It is just an awesome opportunity to just be here with you all to talk on a subject that is really, really both sacred for me and really both close to even, I think, all of our homes. Some way we are affected by it intimately and communally. We are affected by it. I, of course, I went to Tougaloo as a as a mature age, married with 3 children, had an amazing time on the yard. I graduated in 2008, actually, with my BA degree in English, and then moved away. And I've been gone from Mississippi since '08. Married to the military. My husband and I have been married for 28 years. We thought it was the 29th year this year, and we were so confused. He was ready to repropose and everything.
The math was not math then.
Listen, he was ready to repropose and everything. We were going to do it all. But we have been married for 29 years to my high school sweetheart. We have 3 sons, and you will be happy to know, Chuck, that one of the sons is a son of Omega Psi Phi, even though his father...
Yes, sir.
His father is an alpha. Our middle is an alpha. But we are the family of Alpha and Omega. I currently work as a lead chaplain at a hospital, Nova Hospital here I currently reside in Alexandria, or rather in Dumfries, Virginia, but I work in Alexandria, Virginia. So again, I'm just grateful to be here to talk about this subject. So thank you again for the invitation to Tanya, and blessings to each and every one of you.
Most definitely. All right, we're going to go with Dr. Lauren next. Dr. Lauren, go ahead. I know this is your second time on the show, but introduce yourself and let them know where you are.
Hey. Well, I am so honored to be back on the show. I am here in New Orleans, and I'm a child psychiatrist and a pediatrician. And so I see kids and their families here in the New Orleans area. I see folks at a community mental health center here, as well as Covenant House. I work with our youth who are need homes or are homeless youth, and I also work in our school-based clinics here. And I have been here in New Orleans for 10 years, grew up in the Detroit and Chicago area, spent some time in New York. I am partnered to a native New Orleanian here, so he's part of what keeps me here, and
that's awesome.
Loving and enjoying life.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. And then we're going to roll with Dr. Fred. Let's get Dr. Fred over there.
So I just want to thank you all again for inviting me to this amazing platform. But I want to say, of course, so I'm Dr. Frederick Smith. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. I'm currently employed at ThriveWorks Counseling, and I'm here in the Chicago, Illinois area. And of course, I do provide therapy and psychological testing for children, adolescents, and adults age 6 to 96. And I've worked in multiple clinical settings doing what I love, and that's providing care and treatment for those who really need it.
Amen. Look, that's awesome, brother. We appreciate each of you for being here. And Mac, look, let's jump into it. Let's get this thing started, because we have a lot of folks in the comments that are here singing their praises.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we and definitely thank you guys again for coming on. And we talk about health. We know that your physical can help you. Physical can cause you to have issues with your mental, and your mental can cause you to have issues with your physical. So the two are bind together. And one thing that we also highlight, myself, Chuck, and Tanya, is also that third eye, spiritual health, right? Mm-hmm. All those things work together for the goodness. Tanya's talked about something about check-ins, and this time of the year, there was a guy that used to come to Kwanzaa every year named Dumbala. And like the first 2 nights, I was like, anybody seen Dumbala? They're like, no, we hadn't seen it. And guy named what's his name? Golly. He said he was gonna go by and check on him, right? Stanley Wesley said he was gonna go by and check on him. Well, Stanley went by to check on him. He didn't answer the door. About the 4th night, I said, this is not like Dumbala to miss. So he reached out to some folks that he was close to with the Malcolm X grassroots movement, and they got into his house and found him on the floor. And so you start talking about trauma. you start talking about being that old school neighbor. You know, when you talk to someone and you work with someone and see someone on a regular basis, and then you don't see them, you know, and then you think about those folks that thought about going to check and didn't. You know, it's so much happened around that, but preventative measures, a lot of things we build upon, and we give each other a hard time about checking in with each other, and also say, hey man, you know, you said you was on your way and you ain't came, and it's been an hour. You know, what happened to you? You know, we got to get back to that. All those check-ins are very important, so you can help know where you are. Give us some Can you give us some context about what that means to you individually when you hear about stories like that in your and how it affects you in your profession?
And whoever want to jump in first and just
Whoever
go.
want to go first?
Well, since I'm more of a more from the practical piece of it, less clinical, as it relates to providing support and care in the medical profession. In my role of chaplaincy, oftentimes I am supporting patients from a spiritual perspective. Now, we are trained to assess a patient from a more thorough perspective, from a behavioral perspective, from even from the familial, like family dynamics.
Mhm.
The work includes a lot of areas of analyzation when it comes to spiritual support, but our main focus is just that. How are we able to support individuals from a spirit through a spiritual lens? It is very much an interfaith lens as well, and so a lot of times I have been able to have the privilege of hearing, especially during this time of year, when patients are in the hospital, they're really challenged emotionally and spiritually from being in the hospital. Isolation is a real thing, and it
Mhm.
affects people emotionally and mentally in a very much different way. I have sat at the bedside of patients who have just cried and wept without an explanation. It is just because they're in isolation. And so, even with the longer hours now, with the longer night hours, patients are experiencing what they call SIDS. And so some of our elderly patients, they're experiencing sundowners where the confusion is setting in. So you have all of these psychological and behavioral episodes that are happening with people in the hospital. Or rather in the healthcare where I work. And so being able to be with them at bedside and provide spiritual support to them, offering some practical exercises that kind of helps them to mentally work through some of the things that they deal with, like breathing techniques, like sitting with them reading some meditations, sitting with them playing some soft music. Again, these things don't actually go to the source of the mental challenges that they are having, but certainly it provides some warmth and some calm to where they are struggling at the moment with their in their psychosis crisis. So one of the things that I also provide is we do spiritual groups on behavioral health units, and sometimes I'll do something as soft as what is bringing you joy today. And we'll go around the room and they'll name a couple of things that are bringing them joy today. And it's amazing how, when they talk about the things that are actually bringing them joy, it just brings a different type of light and energy to their spirits. So I don't want to minimize how sometimes it's those softer things that can also help people really navigate the difficulties they may having from a psychosis perspective at this time, because Reiki, yoga, meditation, those things are powerful tools to use also when someone is really having some mental challenges or in a mental crisis.
All right.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Check-ins are important, regardless of what kind of check-ins are. So anybody else, who else adding to
Yeah, I was just gonna add to it. So those are wonderful, wonderful tips in terms of just practical things that you can do. I think the holidays are known for a time that can be very challenging and lonely for a lot of people. And so when you're checking in, I think the tendency for some people is to withdraw, right, and to isolate and maybe not answer the phone or be as responsive via text. And those are some times where even more so, the check-ins are a little bit more critical, just kind of noticing in your circle who's not responding, who's not as responsive. And for those who we know have gone through losses, even if it's not around the holiday time that they've experienced a loss, a lot of the times we're acutely experiencing those memories and the loss again because of the loss of tradition, the loss of that person where they're normally there, changing all of the changes that come with holidays when you are without a loved one for the first time, or it could be the 10th or 20th year. That loss can still be felt acutely this time of year. And so just even reaching out and checking by text or by call, and number of times that person doesn't respond. And sometimes it's even being a little proactive and saying like, I know this is a difficult time for you, so I'm just going to check in, and I'm going to need you to at least say, hey, so that I know that I don't need to do a wellness check on you or drive over there or send somebody over there to make sure that you're okay, because I love you and you're important to me. And, and offering, extending that person or group of people or that family, spending time with you or your family, or even just asking them, even if you want to be a little bit by yourself, that's okay. Just know I'm checking on you. You're thought of, you're not forgotten, I love you. Those are some just practical, important things that can be helpful as well.
And then I also want to just kind of, add in some of the causes of why people tend to experience, I'm to piggyback on what Dr. Terrelbaugh is saying, some of the causes of why people tend to experience this holiday depression or holiday blues. Some of the causes, of course, include lack of sleep, where, a hectic holiday schedule can lead to lack of sleep, because you're having to go here, you're having to go there, you having to do this, you having to do that. So lack of sleep can increase stress. And then, of course, you have excessive eating or alcohol use. And so excessive drinking or overeating can make symptoms of holiday depression even more pronounced. Then you have financial stress, where people tend to overextend themselves financially during the holidays. And then also, and of course, by buying these, gifts or other things or even trying to pay for travel accommodations, that can create an added burden of financial stress on a lot of people who may already be struggling. And then, of course, isolation and loneliness. If I live in Seattle, all of my family is in Florida, and for whatever reason I can't get to them or I can't see them during the holidays, I feel sad. I feel lonely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, unrealistic expectations is a big thing, where a lot of times people assume that I'm supposed to feel good during the holidays, because, of course, what do we see on TV? Everybody's happy, everybody's jolly, everybody's getting along, and I may not be having that experience.
Yeah.
And so we really have to check in with each other, because you never know what might be going on in somebody else's life. And just because I may be smiling on the outside, I could be a total disaster on the inside. Because here's the thing: depression, anxiety, trauma, grief, loss, mourning, it doesn't take the holiday off. It's still going to be there, whether it's Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, or New Year's Day. Furthermore, look at the other stresses that a person may also be experiencing. They may be going through a divorce. They may be having work-related stress. Look at in some professions that require people to do a lot of outside work, In the wintertime, you can't really go outside.
Yeah.
So that leads to smaller paychecks. And then people, especially because I'm here in the Chicago area, it snows a lot. It's very cold. You hibernate during the winter in Chicago. And see, there are really only two seasons in Chicago, winter and road construction. Okay.
Hey, look, hold on, man.
So
I ain't
That's
never
good.
heard that. I ain't never heard. You said winter and road.
road construction.
That's
So
good.
whenever it's not winter, they're redoing the roads.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so it's too cold to get out and fellowship and be around supportive people. So you're here at home in isolation pretty much. I mean, think about all the people that started experiencing increased anxiety and depression when the pandemic started
Yeah.
because they had
Yeah.
to isolate.
Yeah.
You know, we as humans, we're social beings.
Yeah.
And we have to be around others. And when we isolate, is that making sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something you said triggered a
I had a
thought.
thought too, Chuck. Go ahead.
I want to jump in because I let you start it off. But
No, I'm saying go ahead. Go ahead.
all right, you talked about people that are they're very happy exterior. And what it brings to my mind is one with me being a DJ and the days that DJ Twitch transition, I made it a point to check on all my DJ partners. One, because I mean I'm talking about people that I talk to at least. Like, the only person I talk to more than my wife is Mac, because he gonna call the hell out of me. And I say that with all joy and all jokes. Because my brother, he gonna make sure he check in. And you can flip me off camera and all of that if you want to. Now that I done got my joke in for Nightcap Knowledge, but I checked on all my DJ partners. I was like, hey man, look, are you good? If there's anything that you can verbalize, or if you just say, look, man, I just need you to call me later. Talk to me about, and all of our professionals here, talk to me about like what it is when a person is totally joyful or what seems to be engaged on the exterior, and something totally different is happening on the inside of their heart and mind. I just don't know. I worry about if I make the call and they tell me something, I'm thinking everything is okay. Then how do we really know if something is not okay in a DJ Twitch type situation?
Yeah, that's one of the most hardest things is when there's an unexpected death by suicide. You know, you're not expecting it. They didn't necessarily show outward signs to most people. Maybe his inner circle, maybe there were some other signs or symptoms that were there, but to a lot of people, it appears that he really was very jovial. And in fact, I think he had like the day before made this like really funny, engaging TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And I hear that a lot with my patients, right? Like they will say, like, I put on a front. Like it is an effort for me to appear happy, to be happy, because I don't want people worrying about me. I don't want to worry the people who I am already worried about. Also, just fear of judgment and criticism for those who have been hospitalized because they have expressed suicidal thoughts, fear of being hospitalized, right? And then I think one of the things that can be helpful, again, there's no guarantee, because even mental health professionals cannot predict with 100% accuracy when someone is going to attempt suicide. So we try our best to be as empathetic, as compassionate, and to check on, and also to be vulnerable ourselves, because some things that can be helpful to someone who is experiencing that is to either suicidal thoughts or depression, anxiety, psychosis, substance abuse, is knowing that they're not alone, and so. even if we're sharing a vulnerable piece about ourselves, right? Like, I'm struggling right now, I'm doing okay, but I'm struggling in this area. That gives permission for somebody to share something that they may be struggling with. And then sometimes we can have a gut feeling too, and that somebody may be saying that they're okay and they're not really okay. And it's okay to challenge our loved ones on that too. It's like, yo, like, I really feel like there may be something else that's there. So let me check in again. If it's okay, I'm gonna check in tonight and I'm gonna check in tomorrow. Okay. And then I'm gonna take you to lunch or whatever it may be. If it's dealing remotely, setting up another time to check in, that can be helpful as well.
Mac, what?
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else want to check in on that, but I know Mac got something coming up. What you got, Kim?
Yeah, I was just gonna add and say, just kind of piggybacking off what you just said about the functioning part of the depression, how you can show up with a face that appears to be one way, but inside all the things are just sort of jumbled up in your head and in your heart. And I know what that feels like. Working even in the discipline that I work in as a chaplain, the compassion fatigue is real. And so, I have gone to dear friends, close friends, and saying, look, hey, I need you to check in on me. I need you to make sure I'm good because I'm not feeling myself. And then so I don't want to leave off the table either ageism, because sometimes we think that when people reach a certain age that they don't suffer from depression. But I have even 80-year-old patients who are very depressed because they have lost a spouse 20 years ago and they still have not been able to navigate that grief effectively or had a safe space where they can navigate that grief. And so even thinking about changes, these milestones we hit. I'm 2 years from 50 and I feel myself sort of having some changes, in my psychosis and emotionally. And I'm feeling like, God, I need to see my therapist more. I need to put her on speed dial a little bit more. I just be very transparent. A couple of months ago, I asked my husband to come into my home office and hang a plaque of a certificate up on my wall. And he didn't hang it up right. And I was literally bawling like he had done the carnal sin. And he was like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't even know what it is. But being perimenopausal, doing the work that I do, it's all a hodgepodge of like, it's a struggle sometimes to just get out of bed, put your clothes on and feel like yourself. So again, I don't want to take off the table that if we hit these age milestones, we work in these specific disciplines, especially healthcare or education, or, these things can really work on our mental and cause levels of fatigue that we're not even aware of at times.
And then you also have to look at, the risk factors for that would increase a person's chance of attempting or even completing suicide. I mean, of course, attempted suicide is more frequent for women, but men are more likely than women to complete suicide because of their access to more lethal means, such as a firearm. And so, some of the risk factors include, and this is a big one, if they've attempted suicide before. The greatest predictor of future behavior is previous behavior. Okay. And then, of course, if they, have expressed feeling hopeless or worthless, or, if they've been isolating themselves, if they've been lonely, or if they've experienced stressful life events, such as the loss of a loved one, military service, a romantic breakup, financial or legal problems, if they have a substance abuse problem, because the alcohol and drug abuse can worsen thoughts of suicide and can make a person feel reckless or even impulsive enough to act on those thoughts. And then, of course, if a person is having suicidal thoughts and then they have access to firearms in their home,
yeah,
if they have an underlying psychiatric condition such as major depression or PTSD, bipolar disorder, if they have a family history of mental disorders or substance use or suicide, that was attempted or committed by a family member, or even violence such as physical or sexual abuse, or if they have a medical condition such as that can be linked to depression or suicidal thinking, such as a chronic disease or chronic pain or terminal illness, or if they are of the LGBT population with an unsupported family, or if they're in a hostile environment. All of those things can increase a person's risk factors for becoming suicidal or completing suicide. So you have to look at those things as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Mac, jump in, man. I got questions I've been writing down, but go ahead.
Yeah, I should have brought my paper, man. So a couple of things I heard. One, we started talking about the check-in part, and I think for us as people, we need to know our circle, right? So when someone is reading and say, hey, when that person can tell you something is wrong, and you know how he's like, no, Chuck, what's wrong with you? Man, I'm good. You're like, nah, you're not.
Right.
And that part of us, we need to be able to discipline ourselves and say, okay, then apparently whatever I'm doing, I'm not masking well enough because you're picking up on it, right? So we need to address it before it manifests and get worse. I heard that, definitely wanted to uplift that. And one thing we did, Chuck did it this past weekend, was we challenged people about the check-in for as much as we travel out of state to support things and games, we want people to travel out of state to visit family. And as much as we take pictures with celebrities, we want people to take pictures with your family and folks you hadn't spent time with, and making time for that outside of funerals. We definitely want people to do that, because some people carry that on because they wish they shoulda, woulda, coulda, and they did not. And making time while you can to be preventative measures. The ageism, another factor that adds to depression with them is I'm the only one left. When everybody else, and from whatever was in your circle or whether your siblings, whatever, it adds to it because you're like, I'm the only one left. So who else do you bond with? Who else do you share this joke with? Who else do you talk to these things about? They're not there. They're not there. They're not there anymore. So that's why even with this whole freeze thing, we talked about checking on people that elderly, especially those that are isolated and that don't have anyone to check in on them. You never believe that you can save a life. We started Mental Health Minute in COVID because so many people were struggling socially. And you have to believe that how many people have been just thankful that someone sent them an uplifting message, or they saw a post of an uplifting message. And it started to trend. People started to pick up on it. People started to do it because they seen it moving. And some people started to do it and add their own twist to it. But we definitely know when it takes one person to intervene. The same way it takes one person to push someone over the edge, it can take that one person to intervene to say, hey, man, what you doing? Hey, come ride with me.
Yeah.
And that right there has changed a whole lot of folks' lives. And Chuck and I know from friends and folks we've networked with that just, hey, man, what you doing? Come ride with me.
And mercy.
That phrase right there has changed lives because the Pandora box opened.
Yeah.
I definitely, if you can, I'm always going to be on positivity. Can you guys give some pointers now for people to use for themselves, but also that they can use to help others when they see certain things happening? Some things that you could give to say, hey, if you see someone and they say this, maybe you should try it this way and be able to connect, because the goal is to save a life. So Uh, Big shout out to Miss Tamika Garrett, one of our great supporters and partners with the Sleep Out for the Homeless. She was part of our sock ministry, collecting warm wear for those who are homeless and always working hard in the community to help us out with Mississippi Move. So
Yeah, look, if y'all want, and look, I know Fred wears socks, but I mean, I don't know if our esteemed ladies, if y'all are sock ministers, do y'all take photos of y'all socks and put them on your Instagram story? Because if you're not, you need to step your sock game up and go ahead and donate some to the Sleep Out for the Homeless. But yeah, jump in on that.
Challenge accepted.
yeah, the socks, baby.
Just sock ministry. So look, give us those tips. Give us those tips, man.
Well, let me just jump right in and say, because ministers are always um, challenged from the perspective of, over spiritualizing mental care. And so let me be the first to say, or on this panel to say, I love God, but I also got me some good therapy. And that's the whole point, period.
Look, look. Sprinkles it. Sprinkles it.
Look, hold on. There you go. Let me throw it all up there. Man, look, hey, go ahead and preach that whole sermon. Go and preach the whole thing.
Listen, I believe God has put all this stuff in the earth for us to be able to access. We cannot tangibly access God, so let's go ahead and get us some therapy. Since COVID, there are some folks out here giving therapy away for free. So we have the ability to access the resources that we need. Yes, check-ins are wonderful. We need affirmations. We need all of that. But I am the first to say, you need you a therapist, or you need you one that you can have on speed dial. If you need to just do a soft check-in, that you can do that soft check-in. But also, in the meanwhile, my therapist give me exercises to do. I'm clear that I'm also accountable for doing the work that I need to do as well. It's not fully on the therapist. It's not fully on my friends or my loved ones to check in on me. And I know we all struggle. We all seriously struggle. I'm not making light of that. But we also have to do some work for ourselves as much as we can, because again, even if that's writing in a journal, we don't have to overthink some things or or think about it as being something that I can't afford. Yeah, you can afford a piece of paper. You can afford, like, if you got any type of smartphone, you get free apps where you can do breathing guidance. I'm so about breathing. I'm about breathing practices and meditations. And listen, I didn't know yoga was as hard, but let me tell you something.
Boy, hey, I don't know if y'all ain't yoga. I didn't yoga.
Yeah,
Listen,
yoga ain't no punk bitch. I'm telling you this.
listen, yoga ain't for the weak. I'm just saying.
All right. Yoga is not no punk bitch.
I'm just saying that's my, they have free Reiki sessions. I'm not an expert with mindfulness at this point. Mindfulness takes really skill to do mindfulness. But if you can't get someone to help you practice mindfulness, like the way you center your brain and your it's amazing how you can just use techniques to really help to center you, to ground you. And that's the practical part of the work that I do. Again, some people think, oh, you're a chaplain. What do you do? Come and pray for people? Child, no, that's probably one of the last things I do. Actually, I have to ask sometimes, do you want me to pray? I do all these other things. I offer all these other things to people because it is holistic care, which is what I love about the work that I do. It is very much holistic. It is bringing God in the room. It is bringing spirituality in the room. It is bringing the secular parts of our humanity in the room. It is reminding us that God has given us all the things that we need, and we don't need to ignore them. We need to be able to access them so that we can live full, healthy lives. And remembering that even if it's just one person who loves us, We got one person more than somebody else had.
Come on.
So we need to hold on to that.
Come on, Cletus. Amen.
Absolutely. And transparency too, like in full transparency. Again, the best mental health professionals has a mental health professional themselves, right? I have a therapist who I see on a regular basis, right? Like again, a mindfulness practice, meditation, some great apps, our Headspace, Smiling Mind, the Calm app, in terms of just some guided meditations that really walk you through how to take some deep breaths and breathe. Some things we can do for ourselves and encourage others who are struggling is, again, we have this tendency to isolate, stay inside. Sunshine and fresh air are super important. Getting some movement and some type of exercise. You do not have to be a jogger if you just go outside and walk. And in Chicago, like I'm about to be in 2 days, put on your hat and scarf. It's a real warm clothes, and it's really just this getting that sunlight that's really, really therapeutic in some type of way, and getting some type of movement, whether it be yoga or walking. You can go grab your friend, you get in the car, you could go for a walk, you could do something, go to the mall, walk around, something like that. Just get some movement in. The journaling or some way of getting your thoughts out, whether it's typing in your notes app on your phone, or a nice, real beautiful journal. Those are all really nice as well. And yes, the spiritual component too. So whether that be going to a church service, attending a spiritual something online, right? There's so many different varieties and spaces, especially since the pandemic have opened up online, like people are doing all types of online support groups, community groups, forums. Join something that feels supportive or comforting to you. Like you can go down the rabbit sometimes with the Facebook groups and other support groups, but they really, really can be a great role and very helpful to a great number of us. So those are just a few.
Fred, what you got for us?
Oh, I just wanted to just piggyback on what Dr. Telverbot is saying. One thing that I do with my clients is that I encourage them to engage in behavioral activation. And that's basically engaging in activities that you find pleasurable. Because, see, one of the symptoms of depression, aside from, depressed mood, which includes feelings of sadness or emptiness or hopelessness, is lack of interest or decreased interest in normal activities.
Yeah.
So, engaging in activities that bring you pleasure can help to change your mood. Even activities like doing exercise or walking, that can increase brain chemicals that are connected to helping you feel better, of course. And then, of course, when we are sitting around doing nothing, we are often thinking about negative things over and over again. So activity helps distance us from those negative thoughts. Okay. Furthermore, activities give us the opportunity to succeed. Okay. And also doing things that are important to us, doing things that give us a sense of meaning and purpose and accomplishment. Okay. If I'm engaging in an activity that's giving me meaning, I feel good. It uplifts me. It makes me feel better when I'm doing something that's connected to what I value. Makes me feel great. Being a mental health practitioner, and I even tell this to my clients, doing therapy, doing psych testing, I love doing this work. And so doing this makes me feel accomplished. It brings meaning to my life. It brings purpose to my life. Doing this type of work is what God called me to do.
That's all right. Yeah.
And I feel great. I feel happy. I feel accomplished. And so we have to engage in those activities that can bring us accomplishment, a sense of worth. And so that's important, because see, the depressed mind wants to isolate, wants to withdraw, wants to sit and do nothing. And see, we can't wait for our depressed brain to tell us to do activities that bring us meaning and purpose. We have to do it on our own. And then once we engage in it, then the change in mood will follow. Does that make sense?
Well, there's a lot of confirmation in y'all's commentary and the prescriptions y'all just wrote in these past 30, 45 minutes. I've had, and look, let's give a shout out to all the people that have been engaging in the comments. Tamika Garrett, she's saying thank you all for these necessary nuggets. Jamie Rucker, fulfillment, and they're saying you all are equipping us. So I appreciate you for all of the folks that are in the comments. We've got people on Twitch, we've got people on YouTube, we got people on Facebook. We've got people that have said they're gonna replay this tomorrow. One of the things that I said I was going to personally do is to send this to folks who I know personally that have been dealing with are struggling with some sort of mental health issue. And for us to be able to sit here and to own up, like I can own up to it. I've had negative self-talk. I've had times where I felt like, well, you know what? I'm not doing as well as I thought I would have been doing. And especially, you know, you talked about during the pandemic, you think about, all right, well, what are we going to do? You know, when you lose a job, or when you lose a family member, or when you do something that was a mistake and it affects you and your household, how do you recover from that? And the one thing that I definitely had to do is to get up, get on them DJ tables, play some of that funky music that make you feel real good. And you think about like, oh, this at this next wedding reception, I'm gonna kill them with this one. Or, you know, when sooner we get out of COVID, when we get back to alumni weekend, I'm gonna do this, you know, or, you know, designing a t-shirt, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna test this out and see if everybody like it. Like you said, Fred, finding those things that bring you joy, but then also making sure that you have some positive self-talk. You talked about those affirmations. You need all of these things. You can't wait for somebody to do something for you. You can't wait for that depressed mind to tell you something. That depressed mind is going to tell you all the bad stuff. You got to go on the offensive. And I appreciate y'all for and Dr. Everybody, you got to give us that list of apps so that we can make a graphic. Because I was doing my best to try to take these notes over here, but y'all be talking and I don't write that fast.
Yeah.
Now you want me to send it to you.
There we go. Look, and we friends
you know
now.
What
So send them to me.
you know what I heard, and this is gonna connect.
Might I also say one more thing? If you
go ahead, Fred.
Don't mind. One other thing is to improve those relationships.
Yeah.
Improving those relationships. Self-preservation. Okay? If you're in a toxic relationship, abusive relationship, whatever you can do to get out of that. If you're in a relationship where the other person is telling you you're nothing, always putting you down, always criticizing you, causing you to because a lot of times when people tell us stuff, especially when they're people that we value, such as our parents or our siblings or our teachers or our spouses or our partners, or, you know, or those that we're in romantic relationships with.
Yeah.
When they say things to us, it can become a part of us because we value their opinion of us. And so whatever we can do to improve those relationships is very, very important. Does that make sense? And sometimes that includes leaving the relationship altogether, setting boundaries. Because remember, boundaries teach people how to treat us. And so sometimes we have to put those boundaries in place, and
Yeah.
also practicing good self-care. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah.
May I just jump right in as you're wrapping it up, and I promise you I'll probably have little or nothing left to say when I say this.
Actually, we were gonna. That's part of what we were gonna do to wrap up. We was gonna ask for
Okay.
everybody's contact information and
Yeah.
everybody to chime in with their last, whatever they want to say.
Okay.
So y'all
Let me
actually are
back
doing
up.
it.
Yeah.
Let me
You're on
back
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Let me just say this, because we have shared a lot of tips about how to kind of navigate the crisis that when someone is in a mental health crisis. But I also want to come back to something that my sister Tanya said when she stepped in. Give people permission to be okay with not being okay, because I mean sometimes we want to rush people past their crisis, but sometimes it's necessary for people to be okay with not being okay. And then just finding out one of the things that in this work of chaplaincy that I've learned how to do a lot more well than I expected is to be present with people. Sometimes sitting silent with people is all they need. And sometimes it's harder for me to be silent than it is for them to hear the silence. I want to just kind of say that, normalize that people need to be said, it's okay if you're not okay. And then finding out how we can help support them if they're not okay. We may not have the answers, we may not have the resources, or know how to get them to the resources, and that's okay too. But maybe if we help them sort of, look up some resources that they can locate, so that they can get in a better place, is great. So I just wanted to kind of just say that, as I'm kind of wrapping up what I needed to say, because there have been times when it has been so good to be able to call a friend and say, listen, I'm not okay, and hear them say, that's okay. So you can find me on these social media platforms. My name is As It Is.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Lauren, you got your wrap up conversation, your list of things for us to roll with.
Yes. Just echoing, and saying that yes, this is a time where it's okay not to be okay. We give permission to feel all of the feelings, right? And when we are checking in on folks, like even being proactive and saying that, like, yeah, like it's okay. Like I know we used to saying, I'm fine, I'm okay, everything's good. But we say, oh, well, is there anything that's not going okay? Because I know everything's not going perfect in my world. What about yours? I'm struggling with this and this. What about you? And then when they do share those moments with us, I see that was one of the questions. When they share something that's really vulnerable, or they're challenging, someone's going through a challenging time, again, just letting them it's okay to sit with that, right? Sometimes, yes, it can seem dismissive if we say everything's gonna be all right. Just have faith and think positive thoughts and pull yourself out of that rut, or you'll be okay. And that may be true, but that may not be true. And one of the best ways that people feel heard is just saying, wow, that sounds really hard. That is really difficult. That sounds really, really tough. What can I do to support you? Right? Because I know that this sounds painful, and that hurts. And sometimes there's nothing we can do but be that listening ear, and that's enough. That's comfort enough and supportive enough. And I just encourage us to stay in community with each other, right? This is the perfect time that we have. Some of us have a few days off. Let's be intentional. Let's create those spaces and continue to create those spaces, and love on each other. Yeah. My contact information, Facebook is my name, so Lauren Teverball. Instagram is Juneteenth. My email address is teverballconsulting@gmail.com.
All right. What we're gonna do a wrap up graphic, and we're gonna publish this on the Nightcap Knowledge and Black with No Chaser pages to make sure that everybody is following our mental health roundtable right here at Nightcap Knowledge. Mac, you got some parting words for us, brother?
Yeah, and then we got to get to the update flyer that we got
Oh,
for
definitely.
the freeze, right?
Gotcha.
But what Fred said something that we heard growing up, right? So that's connecting how intelligent our ancestors were. They might not knew a lot of technical terms, but they knew it. They said that the idle mind is the devil's workshop, right? And even I'm not a Bible thumper, but they even talk about a time period when at your lowest in how Jesus was tempted, right? You got to think about that, so we know that that's how the mind works, and staying active, staying engaged, staying knowing who you are and whose you are. And I always talked about those things. I always talk about being your best you, right? You have to, we got, boy, it's tough having this pastor on here. So it's it's sometimes it's good. You gotta have a certain level. You gotta have a certain level. Fuck it, And I say that meaning is you don't care what people think to a certain degree about you, because sometimes we give people too much power and control, right? If we've seen people share all their emotion and displeasure about what's going on with Jackson State football, and what upset them the most is because the person that they talk about really don't care, and that bothers them, right? And that bothers them a lot, because when people don't have power over you, and and you show them that their words doesn't matter, and they got to keep that negative energy to themselves, they don't like that, because their goal was to pass that negative energy onto you. So it goes back to, again, staying active, staying busy, staying working on you. And one thing that same person, that coach, said is keeping the main thing the main thing. That's my new saying.
You like
Whatever
that?
you're working on, whatever you're
Right
doing,
there, boy.
I like that. Keep the main thing the main thing. So whatever you're doing, and advising people that, stay focused on you, stay focused on what you're working on, stay focused on your family. Don't get distracted by what other folks say and think about you, especially when they're not contributing to what you're trying to do. So you just got to stay focused on what you're doing and continue to do what you do. But understand, as you said, it's okay to not be okay, and to make a person feel that way. And that's what hurts a lot of, especially small towns, where people cannot express themselves and even voice that they want to get help, because someone is always going to browbeat them and ridicule them, just for actually verbalizing that they want to get help. So we definitely thank you guys. There's so many people out there right now that are watching, and that's going to watch later, that are definitely going to be appreciative, to hear this. And I would just say that, truthfully, you probably help save someone's life, or give someone the tools to help save someone in their family or in their circle's lives, by being able to have these conversations openly. So that's it for me.
Yeah. And a shout out to my phone dog, the good
There you go. There you go.
AC
Pastor.
Carter. He had checked in with us, man. Congratulations to my line brother. He is the newly installed pastor of Mount Beulah, I believe it is.
Beulah Grove,
Yep.
Chuck, you're right.
Yeah, Mount Beulah Grove.
No, just Beulah Grove.
Just
It's
Beulah
not
Grove.
Beulah Grove.
All right, here it is. I'm working on a website for Mount Abel, so I'm putting Mount Abel with Beulah Grove to get. All right, you got me straight, Fred. I appreciate you.
Get on, Macy.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing that I'll close with is this. Monday through Friday, my boys McRae and Jackson, on the way to school, we do our verse of the day, and we always do the different variations. So we'll do the King James version, we'll do the easy to read, and then we'll do the New Living Translation. And in our prayer, we try to incorporate something that we might have learned or interpreted from those verses. But one of the things that one of us and it's not me, it's not just me, it's not just one of the boys. We always pray or meditate on having the tools that we need to succeed.
Mhm.
The tail end of it is let us use those tools that we have so that we can succeed. And so I would say in closing that we got a lot of tools that were provided tonight. Some of those tools will help us get to where the mental money resides, where we can be on the money with our mental health. And we got the tools. We're gonna put these graphics together so that you might be able to share them from the Nightcap Knowledge Facebook page, or any of the mental health professionals that have been here with us tonight and giving us all of these tools so that we can have mental health success in all of our families, all of our lives. And we want to make sure that we can equip others and keep pushing this information out there so we can help save somebody's life. So with that being said, baby, we
Chuck,
gonna help money. No,
the
no,
graphic.
the graphic. Oh, I was about to get us where the money
I
resides.
know it. You on your way out. You on your way out.
Look,
Cause
I ain't
this
want to
is
be
the
like my
next.
dad. I ain't want to be like my dad and he keep on preaching.
Hey, man. So we got a cold weather emergency preparedness recommendations. This is the short list, Chuck.
These it's 2 slides. So you've got this slide and then you got one more slide.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah,
So the first one we talked about simple stuff that you can do, and we always look at simplicity, right? Things that you can do based on what you have. Going back to what Chuck just said, using the tools in your toolbox currently, not the tools you're looking at on Lowe's, not the tools that you're looking at on Northern Tools website. We're talking about that rusty ass hammer you got in your toolbox. We're going to
yeah,
use that right now, right?
hammer still
So,
hammer.
yep. So we're going to talk about drip your faucets to help prevent freezing.
Yeah.
All right. And that's not talking about folks just in the Jackson area, but this is going to be around the state. Also, catch water in tubs, buckets, or in any in case pipes freeze. That's definitely for the folks that's in the Jackson metro area. As the mayor and his administration came out Monday and talked about, there's a chance that these things can happen. Yes, the pumps, the plant is working, but you got hundreds of miles of pipes that's
Yeah.
old. That's you're talking about 2-inch piping that might go at any time, right? Be prepared for boil water notice. So if you don't know what boil water notice is, we express that. And the last thing that means is you do not do anything with that water except for bathe. That's the simplest way to put it. That means you need water to cook, you need water to wash, you need water to drink. So that means if you use that water coming out the sink, but you need to boil it. Bring it to a boil before you wash dishes. Bring it to a boil before you do anything with it. That's a rolling boil, right?
Yeah.
All right. Also, check on elderly and disabled before and after the ice storm or after the freeze. Why? Because there was a lot of tragedy that happened in the last Arctic blast, and we just talked about isolation and trauma and how folks are already feeling lonely. And it's a couple days before Christmas, but it's about to happen. There was I think it was Prentice, but it was a lady that walked out of her house and slipped on the ice, and she died. She froze to death because and I don't know if anybody checked on her or what happened, but she walked out of the house, fell on the ice
Yeah.
during the ice storm and froze. Check on your people, right? Check on your people. That's what I want people to do. We're gonna push that. Check on your people. Make them get tired of you. Check on your people. All right. Wrap all water hydrants that's outside. Old school, right? I learned it growing up. Wrap them. Take some type of cloth. After you take some type of cloth, whether it be an old t-shirt or whatever it may be, wrap it tightly. Then you take maybe something like duct tape or something and go over it and wrap it tightly to secure it to prevent it from freezing. Be prepared for icy roads. Now, here's the thing about it. You might be a great driver, but that person with them ball ass tires on that Nissan Altima with that one headlight is not. So when they slam on brakes and you don't know they're stopping because they brake lights out and they got it covered with tape and you run into the back of them, that's what I'm saying, that's a big difference. So icy roads, you can't see black ice. So if it drops down to 11 degrees on Thursday night and the Arctic Wing coming in Friday, you 9 times out of 10 gonna have icy roads, black ice for Friday morning. That means, as old folk would say, get what you need on Thursday and get somewhere and sit your ass down. That's ain't no other way to put it. Sit down.
Man.
All right. Download a weather app. Now, for all these smart dumb phones we got, you can open your garage, you can do everything you want to do. Get the tools that you need to protect yourself and your family. Get a weather app so that the weather app will go off. My wife and I got up the other night. We sleep, we act like country folk. We get ready to roll. Tornado warning went off. We got up and got dressed. Even if you lay back across the bed, we got up and got dressed because phones started going off. Download the weather app so you can be prepared. Be ye ready.
Be ye
right?
also ready. Come on.
All right, now.
All right.
And the next slide, what we got, Chuck?
All right, next slide, man. We have
you skipped some. Oh, there you go.
I had to go.
All right, gas up prior to storm. Why is this important? 2005, me and DJ George Chuck were roommates. We were raised country. We were the only people that had full tanks of gas right before Hurricane Katrina hit. And when everybody else was stuck at the gas station, we were the ones riding around. Purchased flashlights and batteries. I had a power converter at 2005 when Katrina hit. We were the only people in our neighborhood that had lights and were watching TV because I would use the power to convert from the battery.
With the grill.
We had get charcoal. We had charcoal. So get those things. Always keep 1 case of water. Never run out of water. Never get to the point where you say, oh, okay, well, I need to go to the store and get some more water. We out. We're down to our last bottle. No. When you look over there and you got 1 case of water, that means you have no water.
Yes, sir.
You need to go get water, especially if you are in the Jackson area, right? Budget for a generator. I don't care what it is. Whatever we spend and waste money on, that's a part of a tool that you need for your house. It's not a luxury. It's not, oh, them rich folk got generators and white folk got generators. Nope. You need a generator. You need a can opener. Now I'm gonna say you need a can opener, but I'm just show you how country I am. We had years of practice of opening cans with a butcher knife. I'm just gonna tell you, we go get that can open player. We are survivors around here. The electric can opener won't help you. Goes back to those old Boy Scout knives that we used to have back in the day. Budget for a generator. If you take it seriously about taking care of your family, budget for the things that you need. Secure umbrella, raincoats, boots, personal survival plan. I don't understand how people live in certain areas and you don't have proper stuff.
Yeah.
And people say, boy, y'all just like old men. Y'all got long johns and umbrella. Yeah, they live to be old men. They must have done something right.
Hello.
So I'm learning for the old men. Get some stuff that you need. And also they said plan for your family. You have to know if your family have certain medical conditions. That means you need certain things that you might need certain things at your house, but I don't need at my house, right? My uncle takes breathing treatments twice a day. I know I have to have a source of power. I have to have a source of power at my house to give him his breathing treatments. And so those are things that you need to know for your house and for yourself. Also have an emergency evacuation plan. You keep your vehicles ready to roll and know where you're going in case you have to evacuate. Know what direction you're going in, where you're going next, and keep things ready. And if you really prepared, you have a go bag, and you're always going to keep water and snacks in the car, right? Why is that important? I think it was 4 years ago, school bus in Atlanta when the snowstorm hit and they got stuck. You never know when you're going to get stuck somewhere. They got stuck on the road in Atlanta. So those are things I'm telling people to be ready for. And the next graphic, what we had, Chuck?
Well, the next and final graphic that completes our cold weather emergency preparedness recommendations. But if you want to contribute to any of the things that we're doing with Mississippi Move, and as we help those in need, you can donate via Cash App. That's $MSMOVE, or you can go to the Mississippi Move website. That's msmove.org. Click that donate tab, and we're already on the ground. We will be on the ground. We will be in the places where the people need the help the most, and you don't have to worry about where we're going, because we're going to be where our people need us to be. And with that being said, y'all, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we going. We gonna get to where the money resides.
Yeah.
We mentally we gonna get there. Fiscally and physically, we gonna get to where the money resides. We give a shout out to all of our mental health professionals that have been here
Come on
with
now,
us.
y'all. Y'all know y'all need some money.
Oh man, come on, pay these people. Pay these people, man. Get your insurance. Get your insurance. Make that money go. We'll see y'all back here Tuesday night, 9 p.m. We might check in with you during the daytime. It might be a day cap or it might be a nightcap during the daytime. But either way, we love y'all. Thank y'all for being here with us. It's Nightcap Knowledge live on Black with No Chaser.
Black with No Chaser. Nightcap Knowledge, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Central.
And we are out.